It's time to head back to Outlands. It is time for marriages to end, college classes to be failed, jobs to quit, beards to grow on necks, and it's time to search for plate gear. That's right, the Burning Crusade Classic has been announced, and once again, we will be spending thousands upon thousands of hours in the search for gear. But you're probably thinking, wow, man, I really want to play, but I don't have a PC. And that's why I brought to you the dirt cheap Burning Crusade Classic PC. This thing is an abomination, and I hate the fact that I am even standing next to it. However, if you're on a tight budget, this has got you. So let's talk about it. Right now, this is in a Thermaltake case because I had it laying around. But in the description, I am going to suggest getting like a deep cool case, like 20, 25 bucks. So mark that down, $25, okay? And then we've got 8 gigs of RAM, single stick. So put that down about, I don't know, $30. We've got a Gigabyte B450 DS3H, which is pretty cheap motherboard. Pick that up used, hopefully about 40, 50 bucks. So put that up here, okay? And then we've got a Ryzen 3 1200. This is a quad core. Try and pick this bad boy up for about $50 used. So we'll have that up there as well. And then for the power supply, we are using something I took out of the Lenovo Legion. It's a 400 watt power supply, but try and find you something like a 400 watt EVGA white. Try and find one for 30, 40 bucks, something like that. And then for our drive, we've got a 2.5 inch SSD that I had laying around. But you can pick up an okay, I guess, 120 gig-ish SSD for like $20, $30. So most of the parts in here are about, in between 20 and 50 bucks. So if you take the case, let's say 25 for the case, say 25 for RAM, that's 50, say 50 for the processor, that's 100, say 35 for the power supply, that's 135. Motherboard, try and get it for like 40, that's 175. And then what we need left is a graphics card. Now, graphics cards are hard to find right now. So, a 1050 Ti I seen was like $250. That's insanity. 1660 Super, like 500 bucks. I mean, it's just nuts. So we went with probably the greatest GPU one could ever have, and that's the NVIDIA GT 730. Boom. It's got like 1 or 2 gigs of RAM. Not a lot, but listen, we don't need a lot. So you can pick this bad boy up for about 50 bucks. So if you're following along, and I can do math, that puts us in at about $225. So $225, you're going to have you a machine that can play Burning Crusade Classic about preset 3 or 4 at 1080p. If you've got a little bit of extra dough, you could, jump up to like a GT 1030. They're still pretty decently priced, around $100. So that's going to put you at about the $275 mark. You're going to see a little bit of improvement gain. But, if you're cool with playing at preset 3 or 4, which doesn't look that bad, I would suggest the GT 1030 save you some dollars. So $225 all in. Let's look at the performance. Okay, so here we are. We're inside of Booty Bay. In Classic, wow, this is in Stranglethorn Vale. If we look at our settings here, we're on 3. This is at 1920 at 1080. So graphics quality 3. And down there in the bottom, you should be able to see that we're getting, 60 FPS here in Booty Bay. So that's really not that bad. It'll shoot up to about 70. It's, or 80, even as high as 80. Which really isn't bad when you think about the hardware that's in here, considering that it is, of course, a quad-core processor, that's not clocked very high. The graphics are, of course, from the GT 730. It's only got 1 gig of graphics. So it's not got a whole lot going for it. There's not a whole lot available to it, but you should be able to see, like I said here, that the FPS isn't that bad. And so, for $225, this is a pretty good playable experience. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to find anything else that's going to be able to provide, this sort of performance for the $225 mark. At least not that I know of. Of course, you might be able to find maybe a laptop that's used or something. But let me go out here and let's go find some of these Miss Vale gorillas, and we'll see if we can do anything to them. Just show you what it looks like, in combat and stuff. And I'll zoom out here. You can see it's on, like I said, a 1080p Alienware monitor. Of course, if you're at 420p, wow, I can't even talk. If you are at 720p, you're going to have a better experience than what you would at 1080. So let's go ahead, playing on my priest here, and we'll just, go ahead and hit the skies. You can see it's saying stable in between 56 and 60, which really isn't that bad. I don't think it really looks that bad. It may not come over across the camera as good as it looks in person, but it doesn't look bad at all. It's really, really quite nice looking for the experience. You can't really expect a whole lot for $225, but if you're looking to play the game, maybe do some dungeons and stuff like that, it'll at least hold you over until you can, of course, upgrade. The great thing about this platform is that you can upgrade. With the B450 board, if you grab some extra cash later on, you can, put a 3600 in here, a Ryzen 5 3600, or even like a Ryzen 5 2600. With the power supply, it's 400 watts. You're going to be able to find something, that's in that, hopefully, once things settle down, $200 price range. You'll have plenty enough power to get something like that, like, the equivalent of like a 1050 Ti or the 1650 Super, something like that, which is going to give you a really good performance for how much you've got in it. Those upgrades, if you went with like a Ryzen 5 2600, if you could find it for $100, that's a pretty good upgrade. That's 6 cores, 12 threads. If you could find, once things settle down, a 1650 Super equivalent for $150, $200, listen, you're rocking. And you're going to be in a really, really good place to be able to have a really nice system. And so listen, I want to thank all of y'all for watching this. I really appreciate all the views. I hope this helps y'all out, and I hope to see you all in the upcoming Burning Crusade Classic expansion. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe for more stuff like this, and I will see you all later.